Hi, my name is Hilary Trang, and I will be discussing the critical issue on ethics. So, for our article on confronting the challenges of participatory culture by Henry Jenkins and others, we learned it summarized why we should be teaching media literacy, and it's based on these three core problems, which is participation gap, the transparency gap, and the ethical norms and challenges. Most adolescents lack the fundamental resources that they need to keep up with the speed of academic culture. This allows them to lose critical opportunities that they represent. It also assumes that children are actively reflecting on their media experiences and thus can articulate what they learn from participation. Furthermore, it assumes that children on their own can develop the ethical norms needed to cope with the complex and diverse social environment online. On Henry Jenkins' quote, "Any attempts to provide meaningful media education in the age of participatory culture must begin by addressing these three core problems." And I agree with him, because if we allow each of these to keep growing rather than closing the gap, it will only get worse with time. For instance, the participation gap would just force students to play catch up the entire time rather than learning on time. For the rest, the students are still young, so they don't know what the boundaries nor the consequences of their actions are. Well, as we educate students, they learn about the ethics of media and how it can lessen one of the most common issues that arise. And if we recall, participatory culture is where people share ideas with each other, and as they learn from each other, it becomes a social mode of production, and thus the environment becomes more positive. Continuing the summary for our other article, it addresses the core principles about the guidance about the roles and the proper use of social media, which is excellence, respect, accuracy, honesty, accountability, impartiality, and the legal fine print. For excellence, it's about reporting in social media spaces, um, requiring the same diligence we exercise when reporting in other environments. So we should be conducting ourselves online as we would offline, with fairness, honesty, and respect. For the respect, it's about the tone and intent and how they are critical, because there are words and phrases that, if aren't hit in the right tone, can be misunderstood and receive unintended responses. For accuracy, when we put information on social media, we should provide evidence and follow up offline when appropriate. This is due to the fact that tonal and contextual nuances can be lost in online exchanges. For honesty, it's about being open and honest reporting, and not using information without identifying ourselves to those involved and seeking permission to be quoted or cited. For accountability, we should always be conducting ourselves in social media forums while being aware of how our behavior and comments may emerge. Oftentimes, the line between private and public activity has been blurred by social media outlets, so it's best not to forget about self-protection. In impartiality, it's wise not to advocate for political issues, because just simple participation can easily be recognized that you endorse their views. And lastly, we shouldn't ever forget about the legal fine print, and it's a crucial thing that we shouldn't ever forget, because because when we are posting or gathering information online, we need to consider their terms of services. My reaction to the readings was that I definitely do agree with confronting the challenges of participatory culture, because the intended messages can always be misinterpreted, and this can lead towards strong unintended hate responses. As we confront these issues, it as we follow the ethics, it allows for a more positive environment, and users don't ever have to fear cyberbullying or having their work miscredited or stolen. Furthermore, these values are definitely important, because it's not hard to try to track someone down. Someone could have mistaken someone for someone else, and in the end, the wrong person could be in serious danger. Everything that we post can really be seen by anyone. And additionally, the line between private and public activity has been blurred, and in order to clarify the line, we should really focus on addressing the three core problems in media ethics that Henry Jenkins mentioned. Thank you.